It's working.
It is. Are you ready?
I'm ready. We are now on Spotify.
Yes,
This
we're
is
on
our
Spotify.
This is our first episode being recorded on. Hello and welcome back to the Glued Together podcast. We are on episode 18, which we just confirmed because we were kind of amazed that it's been 18.
Yes.
But I think as parents and just as busy humans, which I'm sure you all can relate, doing anything 18 times feels like, wow. And then the 19th, you're like, whoa. And the 20th. So,
Totally.
yeah. So I'm happy we're here. I want to first and foremost apologize for blowing out your eardrums on the last episode. I'm trying to stay a little bit further away from the microphone. I think I just was getting too cozy with the mic, you know.
Yeah.
I have all of these insecurities for all of the people who've been following the podcast for, the last 18 or 20 weeks. Then you know all of my insecurities, and you've experienced some of the mess ups that I've done in editing our audio. So I promise I'll be better this time.
You continue to give the feet away.
Oh yeah, the feet are away because someone also was like, I don't know why you Americans wear shoes in the house, let alone on your couch. And I just feel like I need more education. Like I feel like I'm just ignorant about it. You know what I mean?
I just get cold. Like my feet are rarely bare unless it's the summer. So
Right. Well, we need indoor slippers.
Totally.
I always have my shoes off, so I only wear them in the winter is when I have shoes on because I'm cold.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason. We need indoor slippers, but drop us some education because I don't know. We are now on Spotify.
Yes, we're on Spotify.
This is our first episode being recorded not on Spotify, but knowing that we will be updating the Spotify every week now. So that's really exciting.
And you did put all of our other 17 episodes on Spotify already, so they're all there.
Yep. Also out of order. My bad. Episode 12 just for some reason just got skipped until I hit number 16. So it goes 14, 15, 16, 12, 17.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I think it's fine.
You're not crazy. It's just a little out of order.
But I did label them just so that people knew that oh wow, this is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did. Hi. But I know that we were talking a lot about Spotify. We had people commenting that they wish it was on Spotify. So now it is. You can watch it or just listen on Spotify and also on YouTube still. I don't know if I have a preference, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that on YouTube, I just have more people watching. So I think I'm expecting it to get more views on YouTube, but whatever. I mean, watch it in whatever way is more convenient for you. I think that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a pretty exciting moment when I realized that at some point, Spotify bought out Anchor. Anchor is podcast hosting platform, and now it's just free if you already have a Spotify account, which we have a family account plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, so you mean I literally just I just created the account, I uploaded the videos, and
super easeful.
It was super easeful. It was great.
So it was definitely on our goal list, and I honestly didn't think it was going to happen.
I didn't think so
in
either.
2023. So I am really excited about it, especially because I'm a Spotify junkie. I love Spotify. And yeah, we also just got Antler Spotify Kids that he will on Christmas morning be able to use for the first time. We got him his own little MP3 player with Spotify Kids already downloaded with all his music. And I'm excited for 2024 because my Spotify Wrapped will finally be my Spotify
that's a good
Wrapped.
point.
And not Antler's Spotify Wrapped.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's been a combination, right? So it's kind of funny to look at the order of things, but I know it's his Wrapped because my most played song is Antler's favorite song this year, which is I'm Still Standing by Elton John.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that
funny.
My Spotify hasn't really been my Spotify.
Do you think they do a Spotify Kids Wrapped?
They probably do.
Right?
And if they don't, they probably will. Because like us parents are getting so into it that I'm sure.
Right. They're going to want to infest our children with that desire as well. Yeah. So when they grow up, they're like, these are my Spotify raps for the last 25 years. Yeah. It's a good point.
Honestly, don't know. We're new to Spotify Kids. We were navigating it the other night, trying to set up his little MP3 player. So
it's cute. It's like little. It wasn't even expensive. They're way more advanced than our MP3 players. Like iPod was like my version of an MP3, but I didn't even actually I didn't have an iPod because it was too expensive. But I had friends who had iPods. I forget what I had. It was probably
I had the iPod.
You did? Fancy.
Oh, for sure. Like I spent money I didn't have on an iPod because I've always just been obsessed with music. Like I was also the teenager that had every single CD. Like I had a thick binder and I spent every dime I made on CDs.
They were expensive, man.
Not good choices, honestly, because I don't have the CDs anymore and CDs are played out. But
yeah. Well, what are you going to play them on?
Yeah, exactly.
They're really played out.
And even the iPods, it's like, I think I still have one of mine somewhere, but like, it's
I don't think we have your iPod.
The purple one?
I don't think we have your purple iPod.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Well, I like to think that maybe it's in a box somewhere.
I mean, the thing with technology, it just gets so outdated so quickly that like
true.
Keeping it is really pointless. I have it's 10 years old now, but I have a 27.5-inch Mac that is literally not, they won't even take it back for a trade-in. They won't even give me $1. Like it's just not on the list and they just won't take it.
Yeah.
But it's a fully functioning Mac that is huge, like, but nobody wants it. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So it's just like kind of, technology just gets so
happens.
outdated.
Yeah, it happens really fast.
So I'm excited for him to open that. I think we're going to make it one of his earlier gifts, right? So we can play the music.
Yeah. So we were really like,
well, maybe we should reconsider that because he plays the same song over and over.
It's true.
And over.
It's true.
And over.
I literally, the past 2 nights, I've laid awake in bed with the Polar Express song like playing in my head and like
hot,
I just hear the train.
Hot chocolate.
No, not even that one.
Oh.
The actual Polar Express, like the main one where you hear the train and that
you made me listen to it this morning.
It can only happen on the Polar Express.
We listened to Polar Express on the way.
The whistle blows. Blah, 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 blah.
All right, we're getting
and like so and it's very like fast moving song because you hear the train and so like it's like probably the worst song you could have in your head when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah. It's a train rolling
but
by.
He made me play it like literally 6 times. And when I say made me, I mean I'm driving, he's in control of the music.
Yeah, he
accesses
for the phone.
So like that's why we thought the MP3 player would be best because it looks like a little phone.
And we should be able to.
It doesn't have any other controls. Like that's the only thing he's going to have access to. But
I deleted all the other apps because it does have other apps. Like you can download other apps. The apps were not. It wasn't like Instagram or this, but it had like a web searcher, a web engine. So I deleted that search engine. Deleted that. Had like some other just like an FM radio. Deleted that. So just deleted it. It literally has a calculator, a calendar, a gallery because it has Bluetooth and it also has room for a small little SD whatever card. So we're gonna put photos on there for him because he loves to go through our photos. So no actual apps. So
no,
and he can get himself in trouble with. You know what I mean?
It'll be good for us to have our phones back and for him to have his own little music player.
Yeah. So that'll be good. I'm excited for that. I don't even know how we got on the topic of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Oh, well. Spotify. That's why we're on Spotify.
So check us out on Spotify. Let your friends know.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing, it feels more accessible on Spotify.
Yeah, we did.
Even though YouTube is technically free.
Right. But yeah, I understand. I was definitely one of the people for a while where I really did think that like I can't listen to YouTube while I'm driving, but that's not the case. I do it now because like there's, some stuff I like to listen to on there and I'll just like put it on and I'm not watching it.
Yeah, you just don't watch it.
Not watching it.
Yeah. There's probably
just
people not watching us right now.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So, but yeah, I do love Spotify. So
yeah,
very excited.
Yeah, exciting. So I want to shout out my shirt I'm wearing.
Okay.
So I'm wearing a shirt. It says "Protect Trans Youth." It's for a holiday, ugly sweater vibe. It also comes in a sweater, but I bought this when we were living in Austin, so it was hot, and this was the sweater. You don't wear ugly sweaters; you just wear ugly t-shirts. But this is from Point of Pride, so if you're interested, I'll put the link below. You can go buy one for you and your friends, and all of that money goes into Point of Pride. So I wanted to shout it out.
Amazing.
I love this shirt.
It is really cute, and it does like look very textured and like stitched, even though it's not. So I love it.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I like it too, and it's like show up to your holiday party or Christmas party with a message for the whole world to swallow and accept.
Yeah. I have my holiday gear on too.
Doesn't that light up?
It does, but it doesn't. Like that's how old it is.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to. It probably could take like one of those like little watch batteries or something. I just haven't bothered with it. Anyways, I'm wearing it because I'm getting a haircut today.
Oh, that's why I was wondering why you were wearing it.
My hair is just like, I'm not bothering with it because somebody else is doing it today.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's job today.
Yes.
They're going to wash it for me, and that's my favorite part. So I'm excited.
Why is it your favorite part?
Because it's just like this like warm massage kind of, you know what I mean? Where it's just a massage moment, and I really try to like close my eyes and just be with it.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you're a kid and as someone washes your hair for years and years and years, you hate it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Antler hates it.
And then when you get older, you're just like, oh, let me wash your hair. You're like, oh,
yeah,
wash my hair.
Yeah. It feels so good. I love it.
I cut my own hair about, I don't know, 28 minutes ago.
And you do it so well.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It works,
I like it. I mean, I always think it looks profesh.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I don't hate it. I just, something like similar to you, like something about going to get a fresh cut, and I can't do a fade, so I just do one length all the way up. But I always think that one day we'll get to the point where like getting a haircut every 3 weeks or every month even is just like more financially accessible. It's like just expensive. The haircut, the barbers and hairstylists I want to go to are like $45, sometimes $50, depending on what cities we've lived in.
Yeah.
And like you're going once a month, maybe twice if you have an event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I ain't got the cash. And then you want to tip, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and women's haircuts are so much more, honestly. Like I don't get haircuts that often.
Right.
And the biggest thing that I don't do anymore to be more fiscally engaged in our finances is I don't get color in my hair anymore. Right.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I used to get like highlights at least once a year. So I'm embracing my
natural
brilliant
beauty.
Brunette, which you
beauty.
Always loved my
brunette
I
always liked
anyway.
brunette.
So
yeah.
So we're getting extra cute for each other because we're going away to celebrate our 14-year wedding anniversary. So we're going to another couple's wedding. We've talked about this a little bit on the
and we
podcast.
thought this will be a great way to celebrate our wedding.
Yes, well, that's how much we love weddings, though. Like we have a really good time. We dance together, which we're love
wedding
doing.
People.
Exactly, we're wedding people. We really enjoyed like our own wedding, obviously, but we love going to weddings. And so shout out to Vance and Julie.
Yes, shout out.
About to get hitched.
Yes. Why do they call it hitch?
I don't know. I don't even know why
probably
I said that.
not a good reason. It's probably
no,
not.
Sorry about that. Let's
rewind it.
Else. Let's call it.
I mean, I don't know what it means, but I would imagine it doesn't sound like.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Anything
either.
from like more than 50 to 60 years ago. I'm like, I don't know. Is that problematic? It might be. I'm not sure. I'm unsure. I need to check.
True.
Let's go to Google and do some deep diving on Hitched. If anyone knows, you can leave us a comment below. Or now that we're on Spotify, actually, what's really cool about after you listen to this episode is I'm able to ask questions. So there'll always be a question there, but you can also just leave comments there. Like I'm using it like if you want to communicate to us. But isn't that cool? Like
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So you can do like a poll, you can do questions, but the
Oh.
poll only lasts for 4 days.
Okay.
Okay. But
cool. Yes. Speaking of questions, we want and need more questions.
Yes.
So please ask us more things.
We always need questions. Like I just would love a plethora.
Yes.
Just like never ending questions.
Yeah, like we don't want to run out. We want to continue the flow of abundant questions that we've been experiencing this whole year. So thank you. Bless you.
Ooh, excuse me.
He always like sneezes in bunches. It's cute.
Sorry. I love sneezing. Sneezing is so good.
Such
if I could sneeze again, I would. Like if I could just like if I can get out another sneeze, like if I just did 3, like if I could have done 4, I would have just went for it. But
usually
run
out. They're a little bit more aggressive. I wonder if that was like
I was trying to be quiet.
Your stage sneeze.
That was my stage sneeze. Yeah. Well, usually it's just such a release. I just scream. Just like, achoo! There's this meme of like everyone in the family sneezing, like the baby sneezes, and then like the little brother sneezes, and then the older sister sneezes, and the mom sneezes, and then the dad sneezes, and the house falls down. That's kind of like what I feel like. That's a dad sneeze.
And I huff, and I puff,
and I sneeze your house down.
The house.
2 things I wanted to say. First, going back to the haircuts. I also just want to say that like that's a choice we make to be like fiscal. I don't even know if that's the right word.
Yeah.
But that's a choice we use because we actually would prefer to spend our money in other places and not overspend by getting a haircut. Because I think like some people love haircuts and it's not an expense. Like we just choose to spend our money in a different way. And we feel like, well, what's something that we could take from in order to give to this other space? And we've decided that's haircuts and like dyeing our hair and stuff. So, but of course, like, you know, you probably get 2 or 3 haircuts a year. You know what I mean? Your bangs get trimmed more often because otherwise you wouldn't have bangs. They would just turn into regular lengths of hair.
Yes, and I did decide that I have to have bangs.
Yeah, I like you with bangs too.
I value.
Yeah, I think I like you with bangs too. So.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is, yes, I'm very excited for the wedding. I'm very excited to go away. We're taking 2 days in Connecticut. The first day is going to be about Jaylee and I. And I know I talked about this in my vlog, but we are going to pet some pussy. I'm going to be surrounded by pussy. I'm going to pet them all. And I'm so excited for it.
Yes.
I'm very, very excited. We're going to a cat cafe.
Yes, we'll be doing the pussy petting at the cat cafe.
There might be, you know, there'll be other pussy petting, but a different version of that and just one.
I'm excited. I haven't, outside of like going to a random like garden place and there was a cat there, like I just haven't
Omar,
been.
like Omar, or random garden cats.
Yeah, like we haven't
our access.
Had access to cats since Lucky passed away.
I just want to lay on the floor and maybe they'll just.
Yeah, so we're ready and we're like just really needing that cat medicine right now. Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be like, we need a cat.
Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be a huge success to leave there without a cat.
Well, we have to leave there without we cannot leave there with a cat.
I know, but it's gonna be hard, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, we're just gonna spend an hour after that hour talking about what cats we're gonna get and when we're gonna get them, and you know what I mean. Like that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be like, we should open a cat cafe. Like we're just gonna.
Yeah, that's true because we do have differing interests in different types.
So
of cats.
Nick sent me a picture of their cat. It's a smush face cat. What are they called?
Persian cats.
Persian cats. I'm sorry. Smush face is probably not politically correct.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just never loved them. I also don't like, I don't know, like pugs, like dogs that have faces that don't have like a snout. Like I don't hate them. They're not like disgusting or like, you know what I mean? But I don't get it. I guess that's the best way to say it. Like, I don't get it, but other people do, and I don't want to yuck your yum. Get it? You know, I'm just gonna stay over here. But my friend Nick has 2 Persian cats, and he sent me a picture of one of them. I forget their names.
You don't share these photos with me.
I will have to share it with you. And it was cute. But I built a relationship with that cat because I lived with it for like 4 days. Yeah. In the car and in an apartment, in the hotel. So.
Yeah, that's when I got all the cat
That's
porn.
when you got all the cat porn. Yeah, the pussy porn. So we're excited about that, clearly.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we're going to do the wedding. We're going to dance it up. And there's some like vegan places we're going to go to there. That's yummy. And also a faux place that looks good. I mean, we're just going to, this is the game plan. We're going to pet the cats. We're going to eat.
And drink coffee.
Oh, yeah. Pet cats, drink coffee. We're going to eat food. This is not in any order, right? This is someone in order. We're going to eat food. We're going to drink wine. There's probably going to be cheese, figs, crackers, things of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. More wine. There's going to be sex. There's going to be sleeping in.
Yeah.
There's going to be going to bed late. I told Jane Lee I want to do all the things. I want to have sex. I want to eat food. I want to go to bed late. I want to watch a show. Yes. I want to wake up late. There's going to be coffee at 10:30 in the morning, and we're going to be like, we just woke up. Then we're going to stay chill before the wedding. We're just PJ comfy. What would we call it? Comfy, cute?
Cute and comfy.
Cute and comfy is the theme for Friday before the wedding, and then sexy, dirty dancing, getting it on, wedding shenanigans. And
after party. Okay, so I'm nervous. So their after party starts at 10:30 p.m. Usually we are like deep sleep at that point, and so if
it's 10:30, I'm hyperventilating.
To like sleep in and be relaxed before the wedding has to happen because that's the only way we're gonna make the after party.
You said that, and I was like, well, we could always wake up, go eat food, come back, and take a nap. And you were like,
we could.
I was like, well, we could do that. That's something we could do. Yes. So very excited about that. Yeah. But also just to celebrate. So I think everyone knows because we've said it a million times because we have to remind ourselves we're trying to save our house. So we're trying to be really responsible. And this felt like an opportunity to extend a time we were already leaving instead of going now and then having to maybe go again and do something in January, which is our actual anniversary. And so for the actual anniversary, we got a gift certificate. So we're going to go party it up at Pasta, baby.
Yeah,
which is actually a nicer place than it sounds. Like, kind of sounds like a,
totally.
Doesn't sound like a romantic place, but it's
like
actually
homemade
cute.
Pasta,
it's really good. So we're going to be celebrating a month ahead, but actually same day. No. Yeah, tomorrow, the 14th.
Yes, it's exactly a month
before our
wedding anniversary is January 14th,
which will be 11 years. And our together anniversary is the 10th, so
January
that'll be 14 years. So
together for 14 years. Yeah.
So all in all, just really excited, and we gotta eat, sleep, and do it.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Excited.
Maybe they'll have a little cat at the Airbnb we're staying at.
Oh my gosh,
maybe there'll be a little
bonus.
kitty.
Yes.
I mean, it didn't say there was a cat, but sometimes there's like outside cats.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you always have the possibility of running into cats outside, which I love.
Right. I've never really, Connecticut in my mind has always been a sleepy town, but we're gonna turn it up.
Turned up.
Get it. So my glue. Did we even do glue last week?
I think we did.
Okay. My glue this week. So I have been pretty stressed in the last 28 hours because I just have a lot going on. My nonprofit is doing all of our application reviews. There's just a lot going on. I don't even need to get into the list and the nitty gritty. And so today it's just like packed out, just like this thing after the next thing after the next thing. And I haven't showered this was going to be the 4th day of not showering. And so my glue is the shower I just took because I did my hair, I did my beard, I did, my body parts. And I just feel I actually did my hair. I was like, oh, I could just put a hat on. But I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to take the 3 extra minutes to do my hair. And so I feel Like I really needed that as like a reset to be really prepped for the day, to be like, I'm going to knock this day out. It's the last day of work before my vacay. And I'm here for it. I'm doing it. And that's my glue also, because I can't even think about what happened in the last week and a half. Like it's all out of my mind. You know what I mean? I'm just like present right now. What is happening in this moment?
Totally. I love that.
And now I smell like a gingerbread man because that's the soap you have in there.
Yes, I got some Pacha soap from Whole Foods, and it's like cute because it has like a little like gingerbread in the center.
Yeah.
It's very cute. I love like little seasonal touches.
Yes. It smells good too.
Yeah. I think mine is choosing to focus on the joy and the spirit of the season. I loved doing readings at a Christmas party. I've never done readings at a Christmas party before. I've only really done like girls' night type of things, but this was like an actual like business work party, and
it was cool because I was there and I got to see people's reactions when they came out.
Yeah. I just loved it. It was just fun because I love going to Christmas parties to begin with, but then like I got to like give the gift of healing and helping someone see themselves and their journey more clearly. And so I've just gotten a lot of like really fun work situations. I did like a house call. I did a reading at someone's home, and their home was just like this like incredible welcoming space. And yeah, so just really.
So what's your glue?
So my glue is
showing up,
choosing to focus on the good, and the good has been these like moments in my work really that feel really validating and really fun and easeful. Like I'm doing stuff that just feels aligned and easeful for me, and it just feels good. Just like,
I love it.
Yeah, just moving the needle along, you know?
I love it. That's the whole goal.
Yeah.
Just feeling aligned.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
thanks.
All right, let's hop into those questions.
Oh yes, let me pull those up. So we are going to put the link below to ask more questions.
It is there too. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh well, it's gone. Left my mind. Every time I look over at Janely's screen and I see how she's organizing the questions, I just get so much agita. Like I don't understand her, like how she does it. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you do you. I'm just expressing how I feel when I look at that. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, I don't even understand what's happening.
Okay.
But you get it. I mean, we get questions every week, and right? I mean, they're there. You say them, so it's working.
It is. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number 1. I am an 18-year-old trans guy. Been on HRT for 6 months. I have known I was a trans guy for about 7 years, and your videos really helped me as a scared 11-year-old who had no idea what the future had in store for me.
11 years old.
Do you ever wonder what your life would have been if you were cisgender? And how do you make peace with your trans identity?
Man, it's gonna get comfortable here. I feel like that's a good question.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think when I first transitioned, aka started hormones, I definitely was just angry. I remember I have like a poem like that I wrote to God. It's like I went to Catholic school and stuff like that for not all of my school career, but a majority of it. And it's just so angry. You know what I mean? Just like angry at God that I was born this way, and that. But then at the end of the poem, it's like, this isn't verbatim, but it's kind of like, fuck you. Like, you made me this way. you fucked up. I'm pissed. Like, fuck you. And I'm still going to, like, make something. Like, I'm still going to be happy. I'm still going to make something of this life that I have, even though you fucked up. You know what I mean? And so that's always been the way that I've been able to internalize and then project out my transness, is in anger. Because, like, yeah, I'm just mad. Like, there is a part of me that is angry that I was born in a body that I don't align with, and that I have to go through all of these extra hoops and things in order to feel just okay enough to live. So that makes me angry. And in the beginning, I was always comparing myself to cisgender people nonstop, because it's all about the body then. It's not even so much about, like, who you are as a person. It's like, well, my body isn't match, and look at this guy and that guy. And then you see other people and you're like, oh, you're just like, you're not even a nice person. You're like a waste of a like, I could be in that body and I could be such a better person than you. Which, not the best way to think, but it's how you think. It's the truth, right? And so right now, 14 years later, don't have as many feelings and thoughts about, oh, I wish I was born cisgender, because I've been able to manage seeing a reflection that feels like me in the mirror. I still think about it. I still think, like, oh, I wonder what my high school life would have been like. Like, I was really good at sports. I wonder if I would have went to college. I wonder if I would have played sports in college. I wonder if I would have just, what would have been different, Oh, and it's easy to wear rose-colored glasses. I'm like, oh, maybe I would have a house by now. Maybe I would have, like, all of the things you think you want, like, should have, live in this other life, and that's your cisgender life. But it's not true, because you're not cisgender, and if you were born that way, who knows what would have happened? You could have been hit by a bus. Like, who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? So you just never actually know. And so that's helped me every year of my transition to remember that's just a vision that vision is actually holding me back from living in this life and being happy in this life. So thinking about it is literally taking away minutes of the life I have now to work towards that joy that I could have. So yes, I definitely think about it, but every year it's less and less and less. And even now when I think about it, it's a lot more about my dysphoria that comes up. It's a lot more that it's like more like seeing a guy who's like my height, my build, and being like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I could have just been that guy. Like, that guy could have been me. You know what I mean? Or like using the men's room. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I just wish I could do this. And like, so it's a lot less about that now. And that has been, again, just time can heal things.
Mm-hmm.
And, time can heal, and it can also teach. It teaches you how to manage those feelings and manage those emotions and learn new ways to actually feel good about where you are and actually be grateful. Like, I have more gratitude of being trans now than I did then. And that has really helped me to stay in that gratitude of, like, I have a community, I have support, I feel I'm a part of something, in that community. I've been granted so many opportunities, and all of that it's because I'm trans, but it's because I chose in my trans body to take that anger and sadness and turn it into something positive by proving to myself, to others, to God, that I deserve to be here, and that, like, I'm not going to let someone else tell me how I'm supposed to feel or what my life is supposed to look like because of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, and to be honest, like, I don't want to say nobody taught me that, because you're influenced by all types of people, like my mom and, figures like in the media that I looked up to. So I don't want to say that, but I do want to say that it's definitely just a part of my being. It's just kind of like anger is a feeling I go to often, but is not a feeling that I manifest into something negative. It always tends to come out as something positive or motivational. So that's how I've always done it, and how, if it resonates with this, person who asked this question or anyone listening, did I answer the question?
You absolutely did.
Okay.
And obviously, like, I can't answer. I just have to say that if you were born cisgender, you wouldn't have made this impact on this person and thousands of trans men out there that I've literally heard from or seen emails from or been in person with, and they've just been brought to tears at your impact that you chose to hit record and be seen in your transness. And like you say like, fuck you, like, this is who I am, and I still get to be here, and I still get to pursue happiness and claim it, this person literally said, your videos really helped me when I was a scared 11-year-old.
That's crazy to think they were 11
watching your videos.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And felt the impact and the help. So
well, that's what
I get chills when I think about even the possibility that you wouldn't have been born trans, because you've made such a ripple effect out into the community by everything that you've done since you declared you were trans and came out, literally since you took that first shot and recorded it.
Yeah.
Like, and you and I probably wouldn't have met.
That's where I thought you were going to go with it.
I mean, obviously that's also the but like,
maybe we would have met in my heart. I think we would have met anyway.
I mean, we could have. I mean, yeah, absolutely. But
we probably wouldn't have though. Probably.
Yeah. Like, I think like everything that you are is because of who you were, like, and what you chose to become. And that's the person I fell in love with, so just.
Yeah. Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
And, it makes me, when I hear that they were 11, it makes me feel really happy that I didn't, and I feel like I still don't. I mean, this podcast is the spiciest thing we have ever done.
Yeah.
I didn't even really curse on my YouTube channel back in the day, and it felt important because I knew that there were young people watching, and I just wanted I wanted them to feel like a safe place and feel guidance, instead of necessarily feeling like, not that I would never curse, or not that I wasn't someone you could relate to, but I wanted them to know that I was more of like I could be a guy. I could hold space for them, and not necessarily. And I think that like sacrificed my cool kid factor. You know what I mean? Like, I was like the cool teacher, not the cool kid. You know what I mean? And I think that was a good choice. Even at times I'm like, oh man, could I have been like, could this or that happen? Again, those rose-colored glasses, but yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. And, I think about the mothers that I've met that have hugged you and thanked you and been like, you really helped my kid and you helped me, like by just like being you and sharing, and like obviously being mindful about knowing that your audience was a lot younger. A lot of them were.
Yeah, no, a lot of them were. So
it's huge.
And now they're all old. How old are they now? Did they say how old they are?
So yeah, it says I'm 18.
Oh yeah, see?
And so when they were watching you,
grown folk,
they were scared 11-year-old trans kid.
Little cutie. Little cuties.
Yeah, really cute. Thank you for this question. Yeah. I think it was really, really good. Next question. I've been a trans woman for 35 years, since I was 14, and now I'm a mom.
Ooh, congrats.
Yeah, congratulations. My question is, living in Florida is confusing for my daughter. With the new bathroom laws that passed, why she saw a female to male bodybuilder in the bathroom. How do I explain this to an 8-year-old child? I also am not supposed to, by law, use the women's restroom, and I have to use the men's restroom, even though I fully transitioned over 20 years ago.
Did that law go into place?
That's what she's saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, her kid is 8.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think if that was us, right?
It almost was. I mean, we left Florida for this exact reason.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
But if that was us, I think the first thing, I don't know how 8-year-olds are. I know that like there are ways to gauge how on average, like what an 8-year-old can understand and comprehend and digest
developmentally.
Yeah, developmentally. Yeah. So like I think my first thought would be like, I'm like, I don't know what an 8-year-old is like. And then it's like, what is your 8-year-old like? Right? So it's like, what are 8-year-olds like? But what is your 8-year-old like? Because what I've found that works with Antler, who's 5 now, just talking to him in his own language.
Mm-hmm.
And asking him, lately I've been asking him, I'm like, oh, do you know what that means? Do you know what that word means? And I try to see how my tone when I ask him that question, because I'm not just like, do you even know what that word means when he uses it? Because it's that's like, is condescending the right word? It's like a little condescending. It just makes you feel like, well, I don't want to tell you I don't know that word, because I feel like crap if I said no. So I'll just be like, oh, like, do you know what abomination means? Like, do you know what abomination means? You know, more like curious than making him feel bad. And yeah, just trying to talk to him his own language, making sure he understands what I'm saying. And if you're like, Antler knows that I'm trans and will continue to know that, and I'll have to explain it to him over and over and over and over. And I think I would just personally, I would explain it in a way that's like, unfortunately, some people don't agree with how Daddy lives his life, and it's really sad that those people, make it so that, because Daddy won't be able to, would have to use the mommy's restroom, like for the girls, and it makes me really sad, and I don't like it, and just like kind of explaining it in that way, of a way that they can understand, but also in a way that's like, and this is why we go to those marches that I bring you to, and this is why we go to the parades, and because we want people to know that that's not okay, and that everyone should be able to use the bathroom that they think is good for them, and the ones that they want to use. And then I would ask him, I'd be like, oh, what bathroom do you want to use? And he would probably say, I want to use the boys' bathroom. And I'd be like, yeah, and like, you should be able to use that bathroom. And, and I would kind of like say it, like, just like have that type of conversation. Because I think there's a point in which where it's like really telling the truth, but the truth doesn't have to be like, there's governors and legislation and words that they're not going to understand. Yeah. So it's like sticking to the truth, but telling it in a way that they understand, and then relating it back to your own family, like, or yourself, and then relating it to them, and how would they feel, and like, oh, like, they wouldn't, I'm not allowed in there because I'm transgender, and they don't like transgender people. Oh, why don't they like transgender people? Well, and kind of just explaining a little bit, and but really focusing on the age, right? Like, you can have a much different conversation with a 16-year-old than you can with an 8-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
know more about like developmental.
Yeah. And even with the developmental stuff, it's like every kid, no matter what their age, is different. And so your kid best.
Right.
I think that this is it's a very emotional, personal topic for you. And so I can understand like wanting support, because like when you're really caught up and triggered, right? Because like this is a very triggering thing for a trans person, you know, beyond my understanding or even imagination of like what that would really feel like. And so I think, you know, giving yourself some space to find grace before having the conversation with your daughter would be a really good idea. But also not fully hiding your true emotions from your daughter, I think is also a good idea. I think that too often we desensitize, you know, kids from the emotional parts of these really intense things. And yeah, like I believe that you would share with Antler that like you are really, really sad about this, and that, you know, and so I think it's important. I think, you know, obviously you can't have the conversation when you're in a deep emotional place, but don't hold back the reality that like this is something that deeply upsets you. And yeah, I mean, it's not going to be perfect. I think that that's the biggest thing. Like our conversations with our kids, they're not going to be perfect because we're not perfect and we weren't raised perfect, and we're just trying to do a little bit better than our parents did. And so I think it's important to just give yourself grace and give yourself permission for it to be a little bit messy. And if you say something that you didn't mean to say in that way, you can always repair and correct later and say, oh, mommy said it this way, but I really meant this. You know, because kids need to see us mess up in our words too. Like kids need to see us like repair, like what we said isn't what we really meant. Right.
Real quick, I want you to keep going, but I just want to say I heard something once that I'm going to fuck up. But I heard something about kids that I always think about, which is like kids are the ultimate forgiver. They will always forgive you. You can yell at them and go off on them and be totally out of who you normally are. They could cry, walk away, and an hour later, you think they don't want to play with me, and they're just like, you're like, oh, do you want to play? And they're like, yeah, I want to play. Da da da. Like they just are and I think that's why kids are easily emotionally and physically abused, because they're just so good at forgiving people. They just want to forgive you because they want to be loved by you, and they want to love you. And so if you do, and when you mess up, it's so easy to, well, it's easy to not say anything to them and ignore it and have them forgive you. But it is also, I will say, it's just as easy for them to forgive you, maybe harder for us to admit, but for us to be like, I am so sorry that I yelled, or I'm so sorry I used that language, Daddy did not. I was so mad, and I wasn't thinking, or, you know, like.
Yeah, and I think remembering that, like, whichever we choose, if we choose to say the thing and say, like, oh, I really didn't mean that, or we choose to, like, just, like, pretend it didn't happen and keep moving, we have to know that, like, that's what they're being conditioned with.
They will do that.
That's what they're, like, they will grow up and have that expectation of other people they date, people they're friends with, people they work with. Like, they will begin to have those expectations of, like, oh, well, like, mommy and daddy or my parent always, you know, said something to me when they messed up, and this person isn't, and that's not okay.
And they'll do as they see.
Yeah.
So, like, they might mess up and then never acknowledge it to someone that they could have hurt.
Right.
And just expected that person to forgive them.
Right.
Or to move on, or to just, like, not talk about it. And then 3 days go by and suddenly you slowly start talking again, and now everything's fine.
Yeah.
And it's like you never actually talked about the fact that you said something completely inappropriate to me.
Yeah. And I think for me personally, that's one of the biggest things I'm changing. I'm choosing to change in my family of origin history, of, like, actually having the talk instead of just allowing for a few hours or a few days to go by and then just pretending it didn't happen. And so it's not easy to do. It's not easy to, like, choose to be like, actually, let's talk about it. Like,
No, I relate to that. That's my family too, but I'm just so the opposite of that.
Yeah,
and I was just born that way. Like I was just born the opposite. Like I am like, we're going to sit down and talk, and you're going to say you were going to say words to me, and they are going to be clear and concise and understood, and there will be no way to misinterpret what you are saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
I hope this was helpful. I mean, this is a hard question. I mean, obviously, like we had the privilege of leaving Florida.
And we're just sorry that you're there and that you. I mean, there's just so many people who have kids and families, and their work is in Florida, and that kid's friends are in Florida, and your community,
they don't have the privilege or the choice.
And just because Florida, like I had this thought the other day, and maybe we'll end on this, like. It's not. Oh, I was listening to someone else actually on TikTok talk about Florida and that they lived, and they were answering the question of like, how could you possibly live there? And it's like, the state itself. Not everyone in that state sucks. Not everyone is shitty. You can live in an amazing, supportive, show up as you are, who you are, amazing community. Have your kid go to a great school that accepts you and is like, yes, we appreciate you. And it can be in the middle of Tennessee. It can be in the middle of Florida. It can be in the middle of Texas. It can be in the middle of North Carolina. You know, it can be in
these states that are labeled as being terrible all around.
Right. And that's why people don't leave, because their community is there. And they shouldn't have to leave, first of all. But that's why. And yes, there's also access and financial access and, you know, but like, I never heavily question why someone is in a terrible state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
exactly.
It's like, I get it. Yeah. Like, you can't just up and leave for whatever reason that is.
Yeah. I mean, it worked for us, but it definitely does not work for a lot of families.
Well, we were very lucky. We were very lucky.
A lot of people.
We were very lucky because we had a lease that was literally about to come up.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't have that. They're stuck in the middle of their lease, or they own their home.
Yep.
We had a house that we could go to, right? We could stay at my mom's house, right? We knew that was an option. She made it clear was an option, you know? And, like, we used all of our money, but we had a little bit of extra cash, you know what I mean, to pay for the pod to get up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To do a spontaneous move,
Right, and we used our Southwest points to fly you and Antler up, and I drove our car up. You know what I mean? And so we had just enough to make that happen.
Yeah.
You know? And so, but we're just so lucky.
Yes.
In the sense that we weren't embedded to Florida, and we could leave at that time. We didn't have to go through all of the things that people who have community in those states have to go through to feel connected. And like, we were like, do we want to do all of that, or just want to get the fuck up out of here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we're starting to realize, like, as your kid gets older, it is harder to move. I mean, Antler at 8, I'm sure it would have been totally way harder to move.
What is that, like 4th grade?
Because you start to really make those attachment friendships, you know, but up until this point, I mean, he just turned 5. He's been young enough to not really have those attachments necessarily.
Right. So hopefully it was helpful.
Yes.
So much love and support to you. Just keep going. If there was one message that was something to take from today, is just like, no matter who you are listening to this, like, don't waste your time thinking about what could have been. It is a true waste of time. It's okay to have the emotions and to be set in those and have things come up and, like, work through those emotions. I'm not saying to ignore them, but, like, to think and overthink and think again and think 17 more times, you're literally just taking away from what you could be working on now. So just stop. Just stop. You know, go to therapy, do what you need to work through those emotions and stop going backwards. Because you're worth it. You're totally worth it, and you can do it.
Yes,
you can do it. There's someone out there that will inspire and motivate you, and you lean on them and you just live through them. Some of my most inspirational people I've never actually met in person. I've only just listened on podcasts and listened on YouTube, and you know what I mean? So just go do that. Find those people and surround yourself with them.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and send the person in your life that loves Spotify. Go ahead and send them our Spotify podcast link.
Look who is on Spotify.
Yes. Do that for us to help us celebrate the fact that we are on there now.
Yeah.
And
exciting.
Click the link below and ask us anything. It doesn't.
They don't even
have to.
If you're on Spotify, you don't even have to click a link.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It just says it. Like, leave us a comment, write a question. What are your thoughts? If you're on YouTube, click the link.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't forget about our YouTube OGs.
Yes, exactly.
We love you.
Yeah, no, it's fun doing the video portion of this, I think.
Yeah.
We get to get dressed and,
Yeah. I mean, I barely get dressed, but yeah.
Totally.
Okay, we have to go.
We do, because I have a haircut appointment.
Yes, you have to go.
Watch my story for update about my hair. And and we will catch you next week.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Bye.